Today I'm going to show you how to run YouTube ads on apps. This is going to be the future of YouTube advertising. You could use this to make a pile of money, so you're really going to want to pay attention to today's video. Alright, so this video is part of a series of videos I'm doing on the best targeting options for beginners. And it's based on my targeting strategy that you see behind me here, the targeting ladder. The idea of the targeting ladder is that you should always be using the most specific, most granular targeting that you can possibly use given the budget and the nature of your business. You start with really tight, specific, granular targeting, just really getting that ideal prospect. Then over time you broaden your campaigns out as they're proven to be profitable. Now, I've made a few other videos talking about remarketing, talking about targeting individual YouTube videos, and talking about targeting individual YouTube channels. If you're spending less than $200 a day on ads, I definitely recommend you check those out first. Those are more granular than what I'm about to show you. If you're targeting an older audience, then I highly recommend you check out the video I did on targeting individual websites. Because older people tend to be on websites more than YouTube and apps, that's going to be more important if your audience is older people. But if you're targeting younger people, then this video is going to be really important to you. Younger people tend to use apps more, and they tend to respond to ads on apps more than older people do. Because of that, it's a great way to reach additional qualified prospects. Now, it's really important that you learn how to use app targeting. I've seen maybe 50 or 60 different Google Ads accounts. Most people know how to target individual videos and channels, but very few people are targeting apps. And that's really a problem because app usage and the app ad inventory is just skyrocketing every day. And you can see that this is really the future of where display network advertising is going. The advantages of app targeting are you can very effectively access that younger audience. It's very granular, fairly specific. If you're spending say $200 to $500 a day, this will be a great option for you. And it's also much more scalable than say targeting individual YouTube videos or channels. So kind of a good in-between targeting options for beginners who have a little bit more money to spend, who are in that $200 to $500 a day range. All right, so let's talk about how to do it. We are in Google Ads, back in the example account. I click that plus button to make a new ad group, choose my campaign, give my ad group a name. Next, I go to placements, and you can see there's two options here, apps and app categories. So what I'm going to do is I would type in some keywords related to the product or service I'm selling. Let's say I'm a financial advisor. I teach people how to invest their money, or maybe I invest their money for them. I basically advise people on how to invest their money. So I'll type in my keyword, which is, say, investing. Now you can see I got a whole bunch of choices. So first, I'm going to click on apps, individual apps, and show you how to target those. And you can see there's a whole bunch of options here that you could target. Now, if you're first starting off and if you have a real small budget, what I recommend you do is to download all these apps and personally check them all out, just because you got to be spending your money efficiently. Let's say if you're only spending $100 a day. I would check these apps out and just make sure they're the type of apps your prospect would use. If you're a little bit of a bigger advertiser and you don't have time to do that, you don't mind having a slightly lower success ratio in exchange for saving time, you can just make a quick assessment just on first impressions on what is going to be good and what's not going to be good. Mostly, that's what I do myself because I make a lot of these campaigns and it can get time consuming. So let's go through this and see what might be good and what might not be good. Number one choice is I invest Pakistan stocks. That is probably not a good choice unless you are actually advising people about buying Pakistan stocks or selling to the Pakistani market. Let's say if you're selling to the US market, that would be one on first glance you probably want to avoid. Let's say the next one, investing.com, stocks and finance. That would be one that would probably be good. If someone's on investing.com, they probably are interested in investing, and they're probably interested in people that could help them invest better. Going down, you can see a few other ones that'd be good. Investing note, investing game, depending on the nature of that, that might be one in between. Gold investment, that would be one that's probably not that good unless you're actually telling people to invest in gold. Ride to the future, I wouldn't do that one without checking it out. How to invest money, that one's probably good. So you kind of get the idea. You evaluate a few of these apps. If necessary, you actually download them and see the app itself, and you pick the one that's going to be the best choice. On first glance, what I think is the best choice is investing.com. So I'm going to target that. So let's say if I wanted to run this ad group, I would set my bid, skip the ad creation, and then save the ad group, choose my format, and that's it. That is how you target an ad to an app. Now, there's another option here for app categories. This is not appropriate if you have a smaller budget, but this can be a great option for bigger advertisers. App categories are basically curated groups of apps about a certain topic. So let's do this again and see how I can make an ad group targeted towards an app category. So I name my ad group. Go down the placements. Type in my keyword. Go to app categories. So you can see I only got one suggestion for app categories, business and investing. That seems like a pretty good one. Now this is going to be much broader, hundreds and hundreds of different apps. Some of them maybe not the best. So I would recommend waiting till you're spending at least $1,000 a day on ads before you go into app categories. But let's say you are doing that. This is going to be far more scalable than targeting an individual app. You'll be able to spend far more per day without your campaigns wearing out. You can also try, if you don't get a good result on your first search, typing in some related terms. Let's say, for example, finance. You can see here I got a different category, the finance category. This might be slightly different, people, and this is probably still a good category to try if you're a financial advisor. So to make that ad group, all I do, put in my bid, skip the ad creation because we're advanced, save the ad group, and I choose my format. And that's it. That is how you target an app category. Now, a few important notes once you do this. I'm going to go into the campaign settings, and you got to know about this stuff in order for the strategy to work. So I'm going into the networks right now, and you can see I have YouTube search results and YouTube videos checked. Video partners on the display network is unchecked right now. You're going to want to make sure this box is checked if you're targeting apps. That's because apps other than a YouTube app are outside of YouTube. If you don't check that box, then you won't actually get traffic from the app that you are targeting. Make sure you check that box. This is what it should look like if you're targeting apps. All three checkboxes together. When you're targeting apps, you also want to make sure to only target one app per ad group. Even if you're targeting smaller apps, I just get much better results doing things that way. Many other advertisers do too. So don't mix up a whole bunch of apps in one ad group. Make a separate ad group for each app that you target. Finally, as I said before, just make sure if you're a smaller advertiser to actually download these apps, make sure they're good before you start advertising on them. If you're a little bit bigger, you can just target something based on your first glance impression. And if you're a much bigger advertiser, check out those app categories, much broader and more scalable traffic for you there. All right, so that is how you target your YouTube ads to apps and app categories. Very fast growing form of YouTube ad inventory. I believe this is the future of YouTube advertising and something that you gotta know about regardless of which level you're at with YouTube ads. So if you wanna take your YouTube advertising education to the next level, I recommend you click the link below and check out the next video. In the next video, I teach you my full YouTube advertising system. In these videos, I try to keep it pretty simple, keep it short and sweet for the people on YouTube, but in this next video, I really dive deep into how to make money with YouTube ads. I'm going to show you the 3 biggest mistakes that people make with YouTube ads. I'll also give you my 3 best YouTube ad strategies, and I'm going to show you my #1 best ninja trick for YouTube ads that nobody is using, which you can use to make a whole pile of money with. The video is completely free, and if you're serious about YouTube advertising, then you should watch it and implement the techniques. So go ahead and click that link below now and check out the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.